Hello, I am Paul Spiropoulos and I'm very proud to be the principal here at Wixham's Academy. We aim to make the learning here every day inspirational and aspirational for every student in a highly supportive environment. I do hope this video that follows gives you a very good feeling of the work and learning that takes place here every day at the Academy. I hope you enjoyed that, and it's lovely walking around the Academy on a school day and just seeing the lovely work that goes on all of the time. So I want to start off by saying that as a father of 4 children, and I've gone through this process that you're going through now, choosing that secondary school for your child, I approach my job as the principal here in 2 ways. I approach it as a parent, and we view everything here as a parent, but also as a teacher as well. And we want all of our students, all of our children, to feel safe and happy in a nurturing environment where they can develop personally and academically. So some of the key features of Wixham's Academy, you'll probably know that we are a relatively new school. So we currently have 4 year groups. And if your child joins us next year, they will be coming into our 5th year group. So we will have that full spread of year groups, but we retain that feeling of a family environment. We retain that quite young feeling where children can grow up safely. The relationships here are absolutely key, and relationships with students are encouraged to be respectful and positive, and relationships with the adults are very, very strong. I've never worked in a school where those relationships are so strong, so that we are very much working together with our students and of course with you, our parents. One of the images you can see below there, our Academy values poster, they are very, very important to us. So we are a values-based academy, and as I will keep on saying during this presentation, we are going to get your children the best qualifications, best education possible, but we are also going to help to guide them and nurture them to be caring, respectful young people and young adults as well. So that's very, very important for us. And many people who do visit the Academy say that it feels like a big family, and that's really an ethos that we try to foster here. A key job clearly for us at the Academy is to give your children the best education possible. And we are unapologetically aspirational. So we absolutely push our students to be the very best they can be academically. We believe that all of our students will achieve amazing things here at Wixham's Academy. And it's that joint belief and the challenge that we give our students that approach, we believe, really, really brings the best out of our students. So we set our students very, very challenging targets. We expect them to perform very, very highly at the end of each year. but those targets are set in each lesson as well. So we expect our students to work really, really hard and to come home at the end of the day and be mentally tired, that they've been really, really stretched and pushed. We have a mantra that we call teaching to the top. That means that in a classroom, we will approach that lesson so that all of the students in that classroom can access all of the material and can really, really strive to be the very, very best they can be. So that teaching to the top mantra is very, very important. All of the information that we have is that our students are making excellent progress. If you look at the bottom left-hand photograph in the image there on the slide, these are our students doing end of year tests. So we take those very seriously, and the students come in and do end of year tests in the main hall. And our internal data is that our students are making excellent progress. So I want to make it clear that we are highly aspirational. We know and believe that our students will do extremely well here, but we do that in a very, very nurturing environment. Just to give you a flavor of what your child will learn with us, we do follow the full national curriculum, and that means at Key Stage 3, so in Year 7 and Year 8, and that means your child will get a very, very broad, rich academic diet of subjects. We also have lots of extra things going on as well, and I'll talk a little bit later on about our extracurricular timetables, and also the trips that we've run in the past as well. So if you look at some of the slides here again, some of the photos on the slides, we've run trips to the National History Museum, to Kew Gardens, to many, many other places. And that's important for us to try and make your child's learning inspirational, exciting, and fun, as well as challenging. We believe that when children are enjoying their learning and they have good relationships with their teachers, that's when they learn the best. Let's just focus a little bit more then on those subjects that your child would be taking with us if they join us in Year 7. I won't read through all of those with you, but you can see that breadth. And we've got excellent teachers in all of those areas. All of our teachers are fully qualified and specialists in those areas. We've been very lucky with staff recruitment at the Academy, and we're fully staffed, as I said, with specialist teachers. So I'll just pause for a moment just so you can take that in. But again, of course, I can take questions from you about those. We have more details about the curriculum on pages 8 to 9 of the prospectus. So do please look at our Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4 curriculum there. So I've said that, yes, we will push your children to be academically brilliant, but it is important that there's a life beyond the classroom. We want our children to develop those values, those qualities, those skills that are going to make them really, really successful in later life, in their personal lives, and valuable members of society. We have what we call an extended academy day. We have a breakfast club that starts at 8:15 in the morning. And then we have clubs that run until 5:30 every day, Mondays to Thursdays. We have something called prep, which is supported homework study on a Tuesday and a Thursday after school. And that's compulsory. All students stay for an extra half an hour on those days, and they are supported by their tutors to do their homework. And they develop really good independent learning skills in that way. And it's also a good way to help them balance the pressures of work and homework when they come into secondary school as well. So the students really appreciate that time. I mentioned that we have a very, very extensive extracurricular club timetable. These run at lunch times and after school. We have over 30 clubs running after half term. And I just thought I'd just read out some of the clubs just to give you an idea of the breadth. So we have as many sports clubs as you can possibly think of. All the sports are catered for. We cater for those in a competitive way, but also for students who want to go along and try out new sports and play them for fun. So we approach that in two different ways. Dance, Harry Potter, British Sign Language, Lego, computer programming, sewing, rocket making club, Mandarin club, guitar club, music clubs. Those are just some of the clubs that are running after half term. Students love them, and they are a really important way for us to enrich the diet that our students get each week. So supporting your child. We have exceptionally strong student support structures and student support specialists here in the academy. The first port of call for you, if you're a parent of a Year 7 child, will be your child's personal tutor. And we also have brilliant dedicated heads of years for each year group. By dedicated, I mean that they're not teachers. They work exclusively just with that group of students to ensure that they're happy, they feel safe, and that they're ready to learn in a happy, secure environment. So those are your key people. I say here that we're a listening school. By that, we're a school that believes that parents know their children the best. We're not a school that says it's our way or the highway. We do believe that you know your children the best. And therefore, we strive to work with you to get the very, very best for your child. So it's very much a dialogue about how we can support your child the best. We have a brilliant special needs team, and there's a talk later on by our assistant Senko. Very brilliant team, a massive amount of experience in that learning support team. We have a learning support centre. We have 2 brilliant counsellors who work here every week. We have Don, who is a registered therapeutic counsellor, and Nikki, who is a brilliant registered drama therapist. And when many schools are getting rid of their counsellors, we as a new school have 2 counsellors, and we really, really do want to support the mental health and emotional health of our students. So again, that's a really key feature of what we do here. We have a sanctuary. The sanctuary is a nurture room for students who, for emotional reasons, are not up to being in the classroom. So it's normally a very, it might be for an hour, might be for half an hour. But if students are in need of emotional support, we have a sanctuary, which is a nurture room. You can see there in red that out of all of the schools in Bedfordshire, that's secondary and primary schools, we were named as one of the very few schools in a recent survey as being a school that does go that extra mile to support children with extra needs. So it's a real strength of the academy. Now, as a parent, if I was choosing a school, I do want to know how good is that school, and I'm listening to the principal and he says it's great. How do I know how good the school is? We are a new school. We've not had an Ofsted yet. We were due an Ofsted last year, and that was postponed due to the coronavirus lockdown. But we have had a lot of external scrutiny, and you can see there we had lots of external visits in 2019, just before the lockdown. And I won't read through all of those with you, but I'll just pick out a few elements in red. This school is extremely ambitious for the outcomes of young people in the school. Targets are set very high. So that's, again, a nod to the fact that we're very ambitious for our students and expect the very best of them academically. On the right-hand side there, pupils work in a culture, they work hard and behave very well. Equality of opportunity also underpins the ethos of the school. And again, that's lovely to hear, that ethos of respect and equality that is so important for us here at the academy. The last one I'll bring your attention to is the fact that we have now been the most oversubscribed secondary school in Bedford Borough for the last 2 years running. There are clearly up and downsides for that. It's very good for us, and we believe that parent voice and that parent choice shows that we are doing a lot right. It does also mean, unfortunately, that we do have to turn away lots of families as well, because we just don't have the space for them. So moving on towards the end of my presentation now, how to apply. You apply in the normal way, so you apply through Bedford Borough Admissions website, and as I'm sure you know, you apply by the 31st of October. I think we're the last open evening, so you will have had a chance to consider all of the schools out there. We do not have a catchment area or feeder schools. We don't have that in our admissions policy. We do grow by one year group of 120 students each year. So we have 120 spaces available for September. And if we're oversubscribed, as we have been significantly for the last 2 years, that is decided upon by the distance from your home to the academy. So I hope that just sort of preempts some questions possibly that you might have about that. The other slide that I thought might be quite useful, over the last 2 years then, with our oversubscription, you've had to live within 3 kilometers of the academy to get a place. Now, we don't know whether numbers will be the same this coming September, but again, I hope you find that useful, that as a sort of a rule of thumb, that if you live within 3 kilometers, you stand a good chance of getting a place at Wixham's Academy. If you live outside of that, you wouldn't have automatically got a place for the last 2 years. Parents often ask us about our transport. We love it when our students walk and scoot and cycle, and more of our students are doing that. And they're clearly, if you live close enough, that is encouraged. Great for the health, great for the environment. We have 3 dedicated and subsidized bus services that run every single day. So that means they are run just for Wixham's Academy students. So they're safe and they're for your children. And they're run by Barton Bus Company, and they cost £12.50 per week. The cost of that, the true cost of that, is significantly higher. It's more like £25 per week, but the Academy subsidizes that because we want to make that affordable for parents. And you can see there at the bottom some of the areas that we cover. Again, there's more information on our website. You can look at the bus timetables on our website, and you can see exactly where those buses go and where they pick up and what time they pick up. So finally, I'd like to thank you for listening. I do hope I've communicated what an inspirational, aspirational and caring school Wixham's Academy is. And I do hope that by listening to me and by other talks this evening, that you will get that feeling that Wixham's Academy is right for your child. So thank you so much for listening. And I'm now going to try and answer as many questions as I can for you. Okay, so I'm now going to scan over at my questions. And okay, so I've got a question here from Rachel. Please, can you confirm which primary schools are in the catchment for Wixham's and the likelihood that applicants outside this area might get a place? So no school it has a feeder arrangement, but most of our children tend to come from the schools in Wixham. So that's Lakeview and Wixham's Tree. They come from Wilstead Primary School. They come from Elstow. They come from Cotton End, Shortstown, and I think I'm leaving one out. But I need to make this really, really clear. Attending those schools does not guarantee you a place. If we're oversubscribed, it depends on where you live. So you might be in Lakeview in a school in Wixham's, but if you don't live within 3 kilometers, I'm afraid you may not get a place. I hope that makes sense. Can students study German at GCSE? At the moment, we have 3 language teachers, and at the moment they deliver French and Spanish. I believe our new teacher might be offering German as well, because I've noticed a German club actually in the extracurricular clubs. At the moment, it's French and Spanish. So in year 7 and year 8, it's French and Spanish. I'm very confident that we could offer German in 2-3 years' time for your child. Okay. Michelina, when will the school have an Ofsted rating? How do the school place themselves in regards to the achievements as GCSEs didn't place in the school yet? It is a very, very fair question. So we were scheduled on Ofsted last academic year. As you know, all schools had Ofsted stopped their inspections last year. Ofsted inspections are also postponed for this term. So we We are ready for an Ofsted to take place after Christmas, but it remains to be seen whether Ofsted do reinstate full inspections this year or not. We would rate ourselves as a very good school at the moment. We don't think we're perfect. We're not a school that thinks we're perfect. That goes back to our culture of listening. And as I said, I'd go back to one of the previous slides where I talk about, where I've shown you some of the feedback we've received from Ofsted inspectors that we have commissioned. We've asked them to come in and give us feedback. So I would refer you to that slide that I showed you earlier. Susan asks, how many classes do you have per year group, please? Currently, we have a larger year 7. We have 150 students in year 7, and they are in 6 groups of approximately 26 students. So classes of approximately 26, 27. Joe asks, what makes Wixham's Academy unique when compared to schools in the other area? Well, I could give you a gimmicky response. For me, it's quite simple. What we do here is quite simple. We expect our students to be academically brilliant, but we do that in a nurturing environment. And that means we're looking after their brains. We expect the very, very best, and we expect our students to go off to the best universities. But we do that, but we also want to develop the young person as well. So we understand that children will work at different rates. We understand that children will require different levels of emotional support to get there. So I hope that's answered your question. It's, for me as a parent, that's what I would want for my children. Gabby asks, how as parents are we meant to compare against other secondary schools when you don't have Ofsted? Gabby, I hope I've answered that question a little bit earlier. So I hope I've answered that one. Patricia asks, do you reserve a number of places for people moving into the area? Patricia, no, we don't. We are not allowed to do that really strictly with the admissions policy. We have a certain number of places, and we then allocate those places in September. However, we have had quite a few families moving into the area, and for a start, those families would go straight to the top of our waiting list, so they'd automatically get a place if a place became available. Also, we've had lots and lots of appeals, and whilst the appeals are completely out of my hands, they're down to an independent panel. That independent panel has been very sympathetic to families who move into the very, very close locality. Are siblings included in your admissions criteria, Laura? Yes, they are. So siblings are in the admissions criteria. Sarah, if you want to do architecture, what subjects should I do? Sarah, I'm not sure I have that expertise, so but you would clearly, I've got a colleague with me actually, Jackie, my assistant principal. Any idea, Jackie, what we would be thinking at A level? I mean, clearly probably triple science and maths.
I would say science and certainly maths, certainly science. You might be looking for architecture, some sort of DT type drawing, graphical drawing or something like that. The best advice I would be is to actually go onto the websites of local universities and see what they're saying that the sorts of subjects that you would need.
Yeah, so I hope you heard that. Maths, technology, science, we offer all of those obviously. And Jackie, my assistant principal, is recommending that you look at universities and look at what they would require for those courses. We do also have a very, very experienced careers expert in the school, and she is available to advise people, students, about those courses. Catherine asks, one thing I'm most proud about, one thing I'd want to improve. The one thing I'm most proud about is the family ethos, the relationships in the academy. I've never worked in an academy with such dedicated teachers and students who really want to work with us, and that values family ethos is very, very important for me. What I'd want to improve, I'd like to make the academy bigger. We do have expansion plans, so I'd like to make the academy bigger, and yeah, I think that's what I'd say there. We have a guest who says, does SEND to special needs, e.g. learning disabilities, affect acceptance at the school? So in terms of admissions, in terms of admissions, if your child has an educational healthcare plan, then you have got a right to choose the school of your choice as long as that school can meet your child's needs. If your child doesn't have an educational healthcare plan, no, it wouldn't affect your chance of the child getting into the school. I hope that's answered that question. Donna, hello Donna. We know your lovely Finley, who's in our year 9, and yes, the sibling rule still applies. So if your child is attending, then siblings do automatically get a place, Donna. Catherine, great question there from your daughter. Hello. Normally we'd get questions from the students in the audience as well. Our mobile phone policy. So Catherine says, our daughter asked about the mobile phone policy. We do review the mobile phone policy every year. At the moment, we do still allow students to bring mobile phones into the academy. They can be used only in the dining room spaces. The dining room spaces at break and lunchtime are supervised spaces. So we do have adults around to make sure that children are using those phones responsibly. So yes, they are used in those spaces only, or if teachers ask them to use them for educational reasons. Melissa asks, my daughter is currently in year 8, moving to year 9 next September in a mid-beds 3-tier school and looking to transfer in year 9 to Wixham's as we live within 3 kilometres. What is your current capacity for year 8 going to year 9 in next September? Melissa, we are oversubscribed in all year groups. So you've got to understand that all of those year groups are currently full. So your best bet would be, first of all, to register to put your child onto the waiting list for year 9 in September. I would contact Bedford Borough Admissions to get some advice from them, but I'm happy to talk to you if you call us at the academy. Michael asks, is the 120 admissions likely to increase? You mentioned the current year 7 intake was 150. So yes, Michael, well spotted, yeah, and you're absolutely right. Our published admissions number is 120. The trust that I work for, Bedford College Academy Trust, sets that with the admissions team, and we intend to stick to that. But we've been so oversubscribed with children who live relatively close to the academy that the trust has made the exceptional choice for the last 2 years to expand the last 2 years intake to 150. So that decision will only be made in March, just before offers are given out to parents. And again, the trust will consider if we have a massive number of admissions, again, the trust might make that choice, but it's not guaranteed, Michael. So 120 places are guaranteed. 150 would be if we had exceptional numbers again. Sonia asks, how long are lessons and break times? Sonia, we have 5 1-hour lessons a day. We have 20 minutes of break time and 1 hour of lunch currently. We always review those, but we'll always stick to the 1 hour of the 5 1-hour lessons, certainly. Rachel asks, what is your uniform policy? Do they have to have school brand trousers and shirts? So Rachel, please do look at our website. Please do look at our prospectus as well. The answer is the branded things are the blazer, the tie, and some of the PE kits, but things like trousers and shirts can be generic. So it's charcoal trousers, for example, and white shirts. They can be generic. The girls' skirts, though, are tartan skirts, and they do have to be bought from our supplier, Uniform Direct. Laura asks, what sport clubs will be available? I'm just going to go off my head here. These are sports clubs that we've run in the past. Netball, football, rugby, basketball, football, swimming, table tennis, hockey, dodgeball. Sorry, go on. Badminton. We tend to cover all of the sports that are going on around all of the schools in Bedford. Yes. Lee, do we have plans to have a 6th form in the future? Hi, Lee. Yes, we absolutely do. We absolutely do. But it's going to be dependent on how quickly this expansion takes place. We have a lovely building, but we are beginning to run out of space, and we have the same size plot of expansion land out of the back of the academy. The government and Bedford Borough Council do want the trust to double the size of the academy. It's when that building takes place. So there will be a sixth form here. It's just when I'm not entirely sure when that building will take place. Sonia, we don't live near the academy at the moment, but we will be by August next year. Would this affect the admissions? What I'd suggest you do, Sonia, is apply now to Bedford Borough admissions. Make a note to Bedford Borough that you will be moving into the area, and you would have to show proof that you've moved into the area as soon as possible to Bedford Borough admissions. And I think I would talk to Bedford Borough admissions to get the advice on that. Kelly, can girls wear trousers? Absolutely. So our girls wear either a tartan skirt or they wear charcoal trousers, Kelly. Yep. Yes. Will more vocational courses be available, e.g. social care, veterinary nursing, as per the original brochure? So I think you might be talking about an old, I think you're probably talking about an older brochure. We will be running vocational courses. The vocational courses that we're running from year 9 onwards at the moment are, we have a cooking and hospitality course, we have a languages course, we have a life skills course, and but we do have other vocational courses as well. Again, I'm referring to my assistant principal.
We're offering business BTEC to the students. We're offering a computing course, a CI media course,
media,
and obviously the food BTEC as well.
And food, yeah. So a range of different vocational courses, both at level 1 and level 2. Hi, guests. Are there people to help us if we get lost? Absolutely. I've done a number of assemblies to primary schools, actually. I don't know if you were in one of those. And I had some students with me doing those assemblies. And lots of year 6 students asked that question. It's a really good question. And it's a really, really friendly, happy, helpful school. And there are lots of adults around. But also there are other students around who will help you. It goes back to what I said about it feeling a bit like a big family. So there are big brothers and big sisters there to help you out. So people very rarely get lost. I've answered the one about vocational courses. Rachel, how do you ensure mobile phones are being used positively and not filming negative behaviors to others? So absolutely, Rachel. Again, it goes back to the fact that we only allow mobile phone use in the dining rooms where they are supported, they are supervised. We have very few problems with our mobile phones, to be honest with you. Most problems with mobile phones seem to take place outside of the academy. But yeah, so that's how we handle that, by supervising the students and by educating them about being safe online and safe use. Last question from Susan Smith, and I again might refer to Jackie, who's the assistant principal for curriculum here. Are pupils streamed for English and maths in year 7? No, they're not. But we do begin to group students.
It's definitely grouping, it's not streaming. So at the moment, we are grouping students into confident learners, but we don't stream at all. No.
And that's from year 8.
Yeah, it's from year 8 onwards. Year 7's pure mixed ability for all classes.
Yeah, so year 7, all mixed ability. Thank you, Jackie. Cheryl, do we have a gym? We've got a lovely sports hall. We've got a great dance studio. We don't have a fitness gym, if that's what you mean. Something that I'd love to get as we grow. Rachel, how do you accommodate learning during lockdown? What technology do you have in place to support remote learning? All of our students in years 8, 9, and 10 have an academy laptop, and we use Teams to provide live lessons if those children are off for coronavirus reasons. Year 7 families, and if your children join us, new year 7 families will have a laptop scheme, but we will make sure that all children have a laptop. So it's through laptops, it's through Microsoft Teams, and we also use a program called Show My Homework, and all of our work is also set on there. So it means the children always know what work they have to do, but parents can also see those accounts. And we aspire to 70% of our home learning to be live. I think this might be the last question I can answer here. Do we have lockers? Hiya, yes, we do. Every student has a locker. We can't use lockers at the moment during our coronavirus, different procedures. So, okay, I'm just checking our timing. I'm going to carry on with questions until I'm told by my admin that I need to stop. Adam asks, what are the policies on bullying in the school? Yes, very, very important. We have a very robust policy. We ensure that any bullying that's reported or noticed is picked up very, very quickly, that parents are informed straight away if their child is a victim or, in fact, initiates bullying. We have restorative justice processes to make sure the children can sort things out. But we will also come down very hard on bullying as well. So it's not tolerated. Anyone who tells you bullying doesn't take place in a school is not telling you the truth. But I think I'd go back to that excellent, dedicated student support team, and having a non-teaching head of year for each year group means that they're on problems within minutes, to be honest with you, literally within minutes. Yes, we do have a reward system. So Michelle says, do we have a reward system in place? Yes, we do. We have certificates, we have house points, we have a house system. Children get golden tickets. There's a draw at the end of each week, and they get rewards, and they get Amazon vouchers. And we love to praise our students and to contact parents as well and say how well your children are doing. Esther asks, we have just exchanged a contract in a property at Wixham's. Please, how can I apply for a school place for my daughter that's in a year 8 currently in a school in Harpenden? Hi Esther, you will have to contact Bedford Borough Admissions and talk to them. If you come into Wixham's, once you've got proof that you live here, you'll certainly be very close or at the top of the waiting list, but you might still have to appeal to get in because we are full. So please contact Bedford Borough Admissions. Melissa, what pupil support do you have for mental health issues? We have our dedicated heads of years. We have our 2 amazing school counsellors. We have a number of trainee counsellors who are on site every week who see a number of students. So we have an enormous number of students who are seen. I think even if coronavirus wasn't going on, mental health is clearly an important, a key issue for young people. So we've got masses going on. And okay, and I can see there Brett has just shared I think he's shared the admissions site there. Thank you, Brett. So Brett has shared in the chat bar there the Bedford Borough admissions. Do please go there. Is there a cooking club? Yes, there is a cooking club. Yes, we have a great new cooking teacher starting with us in December, actually. So we offer food tech at Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4, and Mrs. Cousins will be running a cooking club as well. Susan, do you have many TAs supporting the teaching staff? We currently have 10 TAs, so we have a very, very large learning support team. So 10 TAs, 1 Senko, who's currently on maternity leave. She's back in January, and an amazing Senko assistant. So a big team and very experienced TAs as well. Okay, I think I might have run out of questions there. So I'm happy to stay on the line, or we could maybe finish and I can obviously look at any questions that come in later on. So if I can just okay. So I'm just going to go back. What happens in Harry Potter Club? Harry Potter Club, the students read books, they watch movies, they play games, and they talk about all the characters in Harry Potter, and it's for people who are real big fans of Harry Potter. So that was a good question there. Thank you. Do we run sports days in, so Shireen says, do we run sports days in secondary school? Yes, we've run a sports day every year, other than last year. It's normally in the summer term. And yes, we go onto the back field and we run a sports day. There are sports that take place throughout the day, so all of the students get a chance to take part and to contribute towards the House Cup. And then in the afternoon, we get large groups of students out onto the backfield, and we have some of the last events, and we have a customary tug of war now, and we finish off the day all together. Damien, hi Damien, good to hear from you. How much homework do children get each day? So in year 7, I go back to the slide that said that children do about 13 different subjects a week in year 7, and we expect students to receive 1 homework per subject per week. So they do receive about 13 homeworks per week. Remember, they do have those 2 half-an-hour prep support times where they can get a lot of that homework done in year 7. And the homeworks vary. Some of them are very, very short. They might be do a bit of research, do some reading. Some of them might be a little bit longer. There might be a worksheet. There might be some writing to do. Talking to the students, as I have, the year 7 students, they say to me, sir, it's more than primary school, but it's achievable, it's manageable. So that's what we're hearing from those. Rachel, do the heads of year move along with the year group? Yes, they do. So and again, that's a great model. That means that the heads of years move up with those children. They form a great relationship with those students, but also with you as families as well. What catering do you provide for lunch and snacks? So we do have our catering team here in the academy. They do provide a hot meal still. We have had tuck shop in the past that ran at break time that provided hot food and snacks at break time. We're not doing that this term. I hope you'll understand that some things are a little bit different this term, but it's something that we would want to reinstate once our coronavirus measures sort of subside somewhat. Okay. Apologies if I think I might have started my talk a little bit early, right at the beginning. So apologies if you missed what I said at the beginning. Okay, Fiona asks, do you cater for children with celiac disease and a gluten-free diet? Yes, Fiona, absolutely we do. If you apply for your child to join us, one of the forms you get will be a special dietary requirement form. You fill that in, and then our catering manager will actually contact you to check that we've got it absolutely right. So they'll phone you, they'll talk that through with you to make sure that we're absolutely clear on what your child can and can't eat. And yes, we provide celiac diets and diets for other needs as well. Okay, well, I'm happy to now, I think the questions seem to have dried up, so I'm happy now to wind this up. Yep, so I'm good to wrap this up. So I'm going to say thank you very much to all of you. Thanks for listening. Thank you so much. I really hope to see many of your children with us here in September. And I do hope that this talk and the other talks that you can listen to this evening will help you to make that right choice for your child. So lovely to see you. A good evening from me. Thanks so much for listening.